The Sporting News put out their list of the top 15 free agent quarterbacks, Rob, and it's a shocker. All right. I'm just going to start here and let you go. Tom Brady was number 1. And to let you know who's on the list, Lamar Jackson was 2, Daniel Jones 3, Derek Carr 4, Jimmy Garoppolo 5, Geno Smith 6. Rest Jacoby Brissett, Carson Wentz, Teddy, backups. Rob, and I like Brady. You're not that much of a
right
fond of him. I like him. We know that, but I call it like it is. And I can see how a Miami, I don't know if San Francisco would even want him at this point just because their QB situation looks pretty good. But a team like that, I'm not saying he can't go anywhere and play well, Rob. I said yesterday he's still like a top 20 quarterback. Pro Football Focus, which I respect a lot, Rob, they had him ranked 10th this season. So I'm not saying he's not still good, maybe. But to say he is the top free agent quarterback of the offseason when Lamar Jackson is available, maybe, we'll see if they franchise him. I don't know if that has something to do with the rankings, but I would put Rob, I would have Lamar first, and I would have Derek Carr second.
Absolutely, Chris. It is ludicrous by Sporting News to rank Tom Brady as the top free agent quarterback this coming off season, because the way he played this past season, Chris, he was more like Peter Brady, who hit Marsha in the nose with that football, than Tom Brady, who's won 7 Super Bowls. That's how bad it was. Chris, you ready for a stat? This past year, when the Bucs were 3rd and 11 or longer, 3rd down and 11 yards or longer, Chris, Tom Brady was 0 for 41. Do you hear? Hello? Is this on? Can you believe that stat? 0 for 41. Bad. That is an unbelievable stat. I get why people are enamored with Tom Brady. We get it because of the championships. We get it because he went to Tampa Bay and it worked that one year. I get it. So people can't let it go. This is what I was talking about.
Last year it worked. I mean, they didn't win the Super Bowl, but he played. Remember, Rob, a lot of people, including me, thought he could have been the MVP. So he played well last year.
But this whole notion that he's better than Lamar is ridiculous. Yeah, and you just said Derek Carr is he's been through the meat grinder, and he didn't have a great year, Chris. He's had like 15 coaches in the last 6 years or whatever it is, and 24 offensive coordinators. It's been a mess, but he's a talented guy. He's younger. He's somebody you could build on. He's going to be around for 5, 6, 8 years. I mean, he's not old. So this whole notion that Tom Brady's the best free agent quarterback available is living in the past. That's what that is. That is a lifetime achievement award. That's because you just can't turn away. You like shiny objects, and you look at those Super Bowl trophies and think, if it's not, as you said, Chris, if it ain't perfect for him, and I'm talking about offensive line, a good defense, and good playmakers and all these other things, it's not going to work.
Right. Now, look, Derek Carr, the reason you kind of hit on it, the reason I would put him ahead of Brady is because he's younger. Now, if I'm Miami, I'm not looking at Derek Carr. I'm going with Tua, assuming he can play. I don't think Carr is great. He's a good quarterback. He's in that Kirk Cousins area or tier. If somebody wants to argue, well, for 1 year, you take Brady. I don't think Brady was as bad as you do, Rob. I mean, I'm just saying he is not a force multiplier anymore. He is not a guy that's going to come in and make others better. You better already have dudes that can ball basically everywhere, and he is so smart. He still is accurate. He still has the arm strength, even though in the playoff game he was throwing a lot of stuff short because he was trying to get rid of it before he got hit. But he can, in a good situation like that, I get it. He's not what he used to be, but he's still good, but not great. But Rob, I'm going to say this, and a lot of it just boils down to situations. Because I think the Raiders, we'll get to this later, but I think they should go after Aaron Rodgers. I think he would be, maybe they'll go after Brady. There's a lot of talk about that too. But Brady's numbers, Rob, were better than Aaron Rodgers this year. As bad as Brady looked, his numbers were better across the board, essentially. More yards per game. I get you want to say, well, he threw the ball a ton. But he threw for 25 touchdowns. Rodgers threw for 26. He threw up only 9 picks. And Rodgers threw 12, and obviously Brady threw like about 200 more passes than Rodgers. Brady had a higher QBR. So I'm just saying he also did it behind an offensive line that, Rodgers had a great offensive line. Brady's was pretty good too, but not awesome like Rodgers. And he had no running game, whereas Rodgers did. So I don't think he was as horrible as you. But my main thing is there's no way you can put him ahead of Lamar Jackson. That's lunacy unless you said, well, Lamar probably won't be available.
No,
so don't
but
put him on the list.
Exactly.
But if you got him on the list, then let's, you know what I mean? Make it a real list. And Lamar is way better than Brady at this point.
If you're not counting him, he shouldn't be on the list. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can't have him on the list and then negate him and say, well, he might. No. Then he shouldn't be on the list if you're using that as a criteria. Lamar and Derek Carr definitely would be ahead of Tom Brady.
Because, Rob, let's say like I'm Miami or San Francisco. Those seems like the best situations for Brady. Imagine Lamar there. Lamar with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and then the ability to run. And you can say, well, how well does Lamar throw it? We know he's a good thrower. He's not a great thrower. But with those two, I mean, they go up and get stuff, or, Mahomes underthrew Tyreek Hill a lot, and Hill got the passes, and they can catch it 8 yards down the field and turn it into a 65-yarder. So, if you put Lamar in San Francisco, Rob, same thing. Debo can turn, 10 yards into 70. Christian McCaffrey, like him and Lamar run, oh my gosh. So there's no situation imaginable where you're better off with Tom Brady at this point than Lamar Jackson.
All right, let's kick it off with Marty in Kentucky. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Marty?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing this Wednesday?
Good,
Worship
man. How are
Wednesday.
you?
Worship Wednesday. I had to think because I had a few days off for MLK, and I had to think about what day of the week it was.
It's all good.
Fellas, I could only think of one team that Tom Brady would be more valuable to than Lamar Jackson, and that would be the 49ers if they didn't have a rookie showing out. So I don't see any team that's looking for a quarterback that is built for what Tom Brady does. Like, he needs to be well protected and throw little dump passes to weapons, and I just don't see that out there. And Lamar can carry a team on his back right now. You see what happens when the Ravens don't have him. They're mediocre at best. And it just, at this point in their careers, ranking, I love Brady. I'm with you, Chris. He's the GOAT to me, but I can't put him in front of Lamar right now as a free agent. No way, no how.
I don't get that, Marty.
Yeah, it's a bit too much there. No doubt, Marty. Appreciate the call. Bruno in Brooklyn, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
OC, another great show, man. We love you out there.
Thank you.
We agree 100%. Your thinking is correct. How can you put this guy? He doesn't have the legs. He doesn't have the arm. How can you put him at number one? He has to be in a perfect situation to perform. And he's not the quarterback that would be number one with anybody, except for the fact that he comes with a legacy, man. It's like that classic. It's that classic, artist or that classic actor who gets the roles, the Harrison Fords of the world. I mean, they're done. They're over. But you know what? They're still going to get their play. That's all.
It's going to be really interesting to see what teams go after him. Teams or team. I mean, it really is because I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. I think that it will be interesting, but you got to think that the connections in Oakland, I should say in Las Vegas, is probably where. Marvin in Richmond, Virginia, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Yes, hello. Thanks for taking the call. It is a worship Wednesday. When the praises go up, the blessings come down.
Amen, my man. Amen.
Hey, amen. Hey, look, what I wanted to say was sometimes when you go into a grocery store and you pick up a package and you look at it and you'll see the Best Buy use date is expired. Tom Brady's Best Buy date is gone. He's done. He's over with.
That's a nice analogy. Yes, that's good. I might steal that one.
You can have that. You can have that.
That's going to be on First Things First
today.
tomorrow.
Right. All right, yeah. Just tell him Marvin gave that to you from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia.
All right,
Your
thank
guys
you,
be
brother.
blessed, man. Thanks for taking the call. All right.
All right.